Hello and welcome to Radio Waves. I'm your host, Kris Poliquin, and we're broadcasting out of WLBE My 790 AM. The show is a production of Red Apples Media. And if you're watching us on television, you're watching us on Lake Sumter Television, Comcast Channel 13, Bright House 498, and CenturyLink Channel 13. So today, I decided to have a guest that could educate me on things I can do around my home. Come to find out, I don't think I'm going to be doing it around my home. So today I invited Mr. Dennis McGee, Mr. Handyman himself. Dennis, thank you for coming on the show.
It's nice to be here, Kris. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So tell the audience a little bit about what Mr. Handyman does.
Oh, Mr. Handyman is actually a nationwide franchise. The franchise is based out of Michigan, but there's over 300 of us around the country. Our particular territory is from Ocala all the way to Apopka. I like to call it the 441 corridor from Ocala all the way through to Orange Blossom Trail.
Sure.
What we do is general home repair and maintenance. We do drywall repair, caulking, bathroom repair, and one of the things that we do is we do crazy things like show up on time. Show up, I like to say too.
Right. Well, nowadays
we have a distinct model for our company. The guys that work for us are actually direct employees. They're not subcontractors. They're not day laborers or anything like that. Okay. Before they're allowed to come work for us, they have to go through criminal, drug screen, DMV background checks. And of course, they're going into our neighbors' homes, and that's a really good reason for all that. But also, all the insurances, the workman's compensation, liability, bonding is all in place. It's all covered. You hear buzzwords all the time: licensed, bonded, and insured. People say it a lot. It's a real thing. It's something that we follow. We follow a nationwide model in relationship to that.
Now, why is that important?
Well, it's important because. The most delicate way to put it is sometimes if you have someone in your house and they're fixed, let's just say you have a guy, just a local guy that's fixing something in your house, and he trips and falls and he breaks something or hurts himself in some way. In theory, your homeowner's insurance will cover that if he's not insured. The unfortunate thing is sometimes that doesn't happen, or it doesn't happen enough. I actually have some customers that literally were stuck in lawsuits over stuff like that.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's so important to have somebody that is already been vetted, is fully insured and covered by all that.
So the risk actually goes to the homeowners themselves.
Oh, that's correct.
If these people are not.
That's correct. It would be the homeowner's decision to hire someone that's not insured, and unfortunately, that is a risk. Yeah.
Well, that's an important question.
Sure.
I'm sure a lot of people don't even think to ask anymore.
Actually, it's getting more and more prevalent. Surprisingly, I'm very happy to hear it. It's not unusual to have someone call our office and the first thing out of their mouths, "Are you licensed and are you insured?" That just becomes so important. And by licensed, I've actually heard this where people say, "Yes, I'm licensed," and then they pull out their driver's license. No, there's very important things.
Wow.
There are business licenses, there are general contractors licenses and things like that need to be. You need to be basically part of the business community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what exactly do you? Let me ask you this first. Do you just do odds and ends around the house? Is it just residential?
Oh, that's a good question. And I'll go back to the licensed, bonded, insured umbrella thing there. We do both commercial and residential. The majority of our work is residential simply because it is home repair and maintenance. But a good portion of our work is commercial because our commercial customers need to have us be fully licensed, fully insured. We need to provide W-9s to our commercial customers so that they are able to basically put things like that into their taxes and budget and things like that. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, give me a couple of examples of some of the calls that you do? Because when I actually went to your website, and while we're on the subject,
Sure.
if someone wanted to get information, how can they get more?
Oh, it's very easy. Always remember the MR. It's Mr. MR Handyman. It's www.mrhandymman.com. And from there, you just put in your zip code, and that breaks down the individual handyman sites. And for us, of course, it would be in the 34748, 34788, 32162. Again, we cover from Ocala all the way to. So just put in your own zip code, and our site will come up. What I really love about our site is there are some before and after pictures. There are a lot of reviews, and the reviews are very, very important, so that you know what your neighbors are saying about us. And of course, lists of things that we do. We love lists because you call one guy, you call Mr. Handyman, and he can come and take care of the caulking in your bathroom and the broken drywall or the painting or things like that. So,
and that's what surprised me the most. Yeah. You know, when I was on the website, Mr. Handyman, sure, general contractors.
Sure.
I need roofing tiles. I need maybe a room added onto the back of my house.
Right.
No.
Not interested.
You do everything that I have to do and don't want to.
Correct.
I mean, that's why I was saying at the beginning of the show, I was looking up your website to see everything I might, or invited you to the show hoping you could educate me, and you have. Now I know I don't have to do it anymore. I'm good with that.
That's true. And there's actually things that we don't do as well. I mean, and you mentioned roofing and things like we don't work on roofs. It's called pull wire or pull pipe. We don't work on electricity. And what's interesting is we've worked with a lot of different trades over the years, and we actually keep a list. If someone calls our office and says, my AC isn't working, I need somebody to come and fix it. Well, we don't do that. You really should have a licensed HVAC guy come and do that. Well, we have guys that we know and that we've worked with in the past and that we trust. And instead of just saying, no, we don't do that and hanging up the phone, we try to help our customers. We try to be a resource. And so we'll say, we don't do that. We recommend that you have a licensed person to do that. We can recommend someone for you if you'd like. And we give them several names. We can't really say that it's an endorsement, but we don't collect referral fees. All we ask is that the people that we've worked with in the past treat our customers right. So
I guess my point is there's a lot of people out there that would say, yeah, I don't really know, I'm not licensed to do this.
Right. But
I'll do it for you
I can
anyway.
do that for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's just you're just courting trouble. There's just no other way to describe it. Well, and there are things that we can do that maybe somebody else can do better. Something that we're allowed to do that somebody else could do better. A good example is screening. All right, we can rescreen and respline if there's one or two screens gone. If someone calls us up and says, I need my hole in eye or my bird cage completely rescreened, right? That's a lot of time, and you want to make sure that that's done 100% right. Sure. One screen, not a problem, okay? And so we'll say, well, you should probably contact a screening specialist because he'll come in and go through it all the time. There are things that people do all the time that we would say you're better served having those. Can we do it? Yes. Right. Are we the best guys? Maybe not. Maybe this guy is better. And we have no problem recommending somebody to do that because at the end of the day, the most important thing is that the customer gets what they need in the most efficient and most proficient way that they can. I'll give you an example. I was with a guy, a homeowner, who was having trouble. He had a drop-in sink that he had trouble putting in.
Okay.
And and it was elongated. It was oval instead of round. And he said, how do I do this? I said, well, it's a surface mount sink, so you can put it in. But all you need to do is make a template and then just cut out the sides and drop it in.
Sure.
And he said, why would you tell me that? And I said, well, why not? You're halfway through it. And he goes, but now I'm not going to hire you to do it. I'm going to do it. And I said, well, that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. And he said, really? I said, yeah. I said, so every time you walk into this room, you're going to look at that sink and you're going to do two things. You're going to be proud of yourself for how nice it looks, and you're going to remember that I'm the guy that told you how to do it.
Yeah.
And that's part of the that's really part of the evil plan, So.
Oh, sure. But it certainly seems like, to me, and I'm sure our listeners, that customer service is a top priority for you. And you're not out there just trying to. God, I hate this. There's guys out there that are just trying to squeeze.
What I try to explain to my employees, all of my employees, all the time, is that we don't chase jobs, we don't chase money. We only chase success. If we're going to be successful at it and we can make our customer happy, the jobs and the money come after that. I mean, they'll just follow along.
Sure. I assume you have a lot of repeat customers.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
I bet.
We have regulars, which
I'm
is
sure.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a lot of business in the villages? Because it seems to me that would be, well, a large market for handymen.
Oh yeah,
who just don't want to do a lot of the stuff anymore, or don't have the ability to.
There's inability. There's physical limitations. There's lack of knowledge, and there's lack of desire.
Yes,
there's the three customer categories, and so our office is actually in Lady Lake, just like 2 blocks south of 466.
Oh, okay.
So we're right there, and that's actually the center of our territory, the geographical center of our territory.
Okay.
So we do a lot of work in the villages. Yeah.
And now we're talking some old school customers out there. How do you find that you still have a high level of customer satisfaction out there? I mean, I'm just asking for my own self.
Oh no!
I mean, I've had to help people. And
sure.
Constantly overlooking me, going, "No, you're not doing that right. You're not doing it right."
Oh,
like, my goodness, sir, I'm trying. I'm
glad you brought that up because we joke with our customers that we actually want them to watch us. Pull up a chair, get a cup of coffee, sit down. If you have any questions, ask us. One of the things that one always has to remember is that when you're in somebody's home, it's their house, and they have every right to know what's going on in their house. And if they have questions, it's our job to answer them. If they want to know what we're doing, good for them. It's their house. They should know what we're doing.
Absolutely.
That's important. Yeah.
Absolutely. We need to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll continue our conversation with Dennis McGee and Mr. Handyman. We'll be right back. Hi, and welcome back to Radio Waves. Again, I'm your host, Kris Poliquin, and this is a production of Red Apples Media. Today, my guest is Mr. Dennis McGee, Mr. Handyman himself, at least for Central Florida, right?
Right.
Ocala all the way to Apopka, that pretty much covers us.
Sure.
So before the break, we were talking about, customer service and how it certainly sounds like that's a number one priority for you.
Right.
I understand that you were actually recognized for your customer service. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Good job on the homework.
Oh, hey, I try.
We, Mr. Handyman, the franchise in general, utilizes an independent survey company to check in with customers by email, by phone calls, to find out if our customers are satisfied. We landed in the top 10 of what's called a Net Promoter Score. For customer satisfaction throughout our territory, and actually top 10 in the country in comparison to the franchise in general and all the other franchises throughout the U.S.
Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
So we have one of the best right here in our hometown.
We're very, very proud of that, yes. Yeah.
I bet. And it's really a testament to you if I may say, and how you can deliver the expectations that your customers want. I mean, this is,
thank you.
again, it's a survey, but based on customer feedback.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to sidestep real quick.
Sure.
We were talking a little bit about the villages, and I understand that you have you're, I guess, licensed to do CAPS, which is the Certified Aging in Place.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Can you explain to me a little bit more about that?
Well, Certified Aging in Place Specialist is a designation from the National Home Builders Association. It is classes. It goes over different design techniques and things to allow older citizens to be able to stay in their home. The tagline that we use is we call it "Safe at Home." Make your house a home for a lifetime. And the idea is when people have an incident or when they're getting on in age, there's choices. You can go to a care facility, or you can stay at home. But the reason people go to the care facility is because of limitations.
Right.
Either and in our case, what we see a lot of is grab bars and ramps and things like that around the house. And when people are at home, they simply thrive. I gave a talk recently, and one of the things I said was that I rarely talk to someone that's in a rehab center after an incident that says, "Gee, I really like being here. I don't want to go home." Almost everybody to a person says, "How long before I go home?"
Right.
We'll get calls from people saying, my spouse is in rehab. They had a fall, or they hurt themselves in some way, and they're going through therapy, and they'll be coming home, and we need to have grab bars. We need to have ramps. We consider this not at the risk of sounding pious. We consider this a sacred trust. We really consider this a really, really important part of our business, really to help our customers to stay at home and to be able to live in surroundings they're comfortable in.
And that's to the individuals. That's everything.
That's right. Yeah.
When you're talking about handrails and ramps and things of that
Sure.
nature, okay, and it's all under the certified aging.
Right.
The specialist. Is there a course for that?
That's how
is
you
it
get
an
certified.
actual like?
It's a pretty intense 3 full day course with tests, and then you have to wait till the results come in, and then you're certified. So yeah,
Okay.
There's a lot. There's a lot
Okay.
to it.
Well,
I'll give you.
there's
an
a lot of
example.
handymen out there, and you want me
There's
to
a
drill
lot of
holes in
handymen
a
out there.
wall.
Right.
I can put in a pole
Right.
or a handrail, but there's a right way and a wrong way.
That's exactly right. What we do when we're doing, and grab bars is probably the most common thing that we do, and we'll get a call. I need grab bars, and you don't just throw grab bars in a truck and send a guy off to put them in the wall. We do a free consultation for every CAPS job that we have, for every grab bar, every aging in place issue, because you need to know what the user's issues are. You need to know how they're moving about, and things like size. Are they going to sit or stand? And so we go out, we do a consultation. We show them different types of grab bars and different ways to do things, and then we set up an appointment to execute. It's just so important. Like I said, I joke all the time that there's two important things about grab bars. They have to be there when you need them, and they have to stay on the wall. So,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got to have it mounted.
That's right.
You got to
have it mounted correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're approaching the time of year where theoretically, we should be having a lot more rain.
Right. Yeah.
Higher winds,
Yep.
thunderstorms starting to roll in. Is there any advice out there that you might be able to give some of our listeners on preparation?
We actually have a spring and summer checklist that we go through, and
Is that right? Okay.
and there's well, it's some of the obvious things are make sure that the windows are sealed, caulk around the windows, make sure that that when the wind and rain come, it stays outside. Another very popular thing is clean the gutters. They'll get filled pretty quickly. Yeah. So
Now,
gutter
and-
clean. Yeah.
Okay, I'm asking you a loaded question. I went to your website. You do everything that you're talking about now.
Of course. Yeah.
Things that I can do that I don't want to. I hate gutter work.
Right.
Hate it. So anyway, I interrupted you.
No, that's okay. And if we keep the things that we do, there's gutter cleaning, there's dryer vent cleaning, caulking, making sure it's probably a good time of year to clean the house, do a quick power washing or something like that. Check for paint voids. If you have maybe wood siding, you want to make sure that sometimes if there's some peeling paint or something that's all sealed up as well, because moisture in the air will certainly get in there. So you need to make sure that's all good. And then we can talk about things that we don't do. Now's a good time. Right now, I just had it done at my house. Have an AC guy come in and just give a checkup to your unit. Make sure that it's going to run, because I'd rather they found something wrong with my unit today instead of August 3rd.
Yes. Yes.
So and it's not a bad time to do that, because if in the middle of the summer you're going to wait for them to come. So yeah,
I've been there.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And it was an uncomfortable wait.
Yeah, it cured me.
As a matter of fact, last time that's happened to me as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now you brought up something, and I want to touch base. You said dryer vent.
Oh, I mentioned that before.
You're talking about the basket. Right?
No,
the little
no.
thing in the dryer.
No,
just
coming out of the
you
back
do
of
that
your dryer.
every load.
Coming out of the back of your dryer is a 4-inch pipe, and it goes in two directions. It goes to the side and out the side of the house, or it goes up through the wall and up to the roof.
Oh, okay.
And they get clogged. They are a fire hazard if they get clogged, because we start stirring lint around where lint shouldn't be. So it doesn't hurt to every 6 months just check and have your dryer vent cleaned.
Well, thank you for that. I want to touch base on something with you. You actually do a lot of community service out there. Can you talk to me a little bit about the Mr. Handyman Day of Service? Because it sounds like, not only do you go out there and, service residents in other places, but you do this off the clock as well, it sounds.
Well, we are part of the community, and quite frankly, as we like to say in the office, things like that are among other things good for the soul. Over the last couple of years, we have worked with different community groups, different individuals with church groups. And there are people in need, people who have things that need to be done that either can't afford it or are unable to do it. And we pick a day in September. It's called the Day of Service. And my guys will do it. And we'll just go out and execute, just take care of somebody. I mean, it's funny because you don't want to say, oh yeah, well, aren't we the greatest guys in the world? No, you just do it. It doesn't hurt to do nice things every now and again. Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to ask you. Again, I asked you a loaded question.
Yeah, I know.
But I think it's a testament to who you are and in your organization.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
And I'd like the listeners to understand that, if they're in need, I would certainly trust you. I really would.
No, thank you.
And again, there's so much out there, and there's a lot of skepticism, and rightly so.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who you're calling half the time, and you don't know if you're going to be happy with the service until after the service is done. So it's refreshing to hear someone who, to me, sounds like they're on an even keel.
Well, for us. It's sometimes an issue because we come behind people who have had less than good experiences with other services, other handyman services. People who have gotten, well, quite frankly, ripped off by people.
And that's kind of, yeah.
We don't, unless it's a special circumstances. Sometimes we'll do a special order something, and we'll take a deposit for that. But beyond that, we never take money up front. We only get paid when at the end of the day, when the job is done and people can see what they're paying for. I think that's really important. We've actually gone to the lengths of, on our literature that we give out. It's actually an article on hiring people to work in your home. Mainly because we've heard all the stories, and we try to make sure that that our customers are protected.
And they know that it's you that show up, right? You show up with your truck.
That's actually a really good point. My favorite story about that is our trucks are clearly marked. People see our trucks, and we hear it, oh, we see your trucks all the time. And I had a customer, a regular customer, and I was just visiting with her, and she said, we have I really like your truck. And I said, well, thank you very much. We get a lot of attention in places like Lowe's and Home Depot. And she said, well, no, I live alone. And when you're in my driveway, everyone knows who's here.
See,
Hadn't even
there
thought
you
of it.
go.
Yeah.
How do you beat that? Right. Well, Dennis, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for coming on to our show. And I'd love to have you back again in the future.
I'd love to be back. Obviously, I like talking about it.
I bet I can see that. You're very welcome. So that's all the time we have for today. This has been Radio Waves. I'm your host, Kris Poliquin. We'll see you next time.